Hello, hello, hello. And today we are, it's saying that my internet connection is unstable. So I'm going to continue on and trust that the recording will catch up. And so I'm Kathy Marie Howe. And if you notice, I have my movement name, the Luminary Femme, on the corner here. And so I'm very excited and grateful to share that to start. Today is a new moon, and we are in the sign of Pisces, which is the water sign. Two of my children were born under that sign, and so I am fairly familiar with the emotional waters that they swim in, and that it is part of my design and part of my sign. And so I feel really grateful that we're at this time. It's also the end of the zodiac, and I want to be clear that I am not an expert in astrology, although I've been following it my whole life basically. It started when my parents gave me the birthstone ring that I was like, "Oh, what does this mean?" and started on that path. And so because it is so involved, that was something that and very much encouraged and discouraged in my origin of Catholicism. And so once again, like I said, it's something that, because I follow the moon cycle, because I am in nature, and because I love nature and understand that the gift that it has given us in how we operate our life, or a way to operate our life. And so I want to honor that and honor the gifts of my legacy and my birthright. And so coming in today, we're talking about nuance and what that looks like, and how in this integration year, this I'm integrating, working through the various energies of our presence, that we're in this nuanced energy and bringing forth that it is March, that there's a lot of things that are happening that when you're not aware, you miss, especially in this stage between winter and spring, that so much happens underground, and yet we don't typically pay attention until it's above ground and active. And so in this topic, bringing this forward, it's this nuance of how are you operating your life, and what is it that you're building subconsciously or unconsciously, and what is it that you want to bring forward consciously, and can you do that more in the conscious realm so that you are able to do it more with ease? Because when you bring awareness to whatever it is that you're experiencing, it can bring clarity. And we've talked about learning through validation or contrast, and how that when you see what you want to experience or feel what you want to experience, then you can actively work to feel and see more of that. And so bringing that forward in the nuanced energy. So that's one aspect of it. So what I also want to bring forward is that what I've noticed in 2026, actually, it's been building for some time, right? That we are increasingly seeing more and more information, more and more, whether it's true or not true, but the information itself. And our bodies are not designed to carry the amount of stuff, information, the way our society has been created at this time. Our bodies, our natural bodies, are not designed to carry this. We go through a natural cycle of growth to death, and through that, the more that we accumulate, either being through our mental, our physical, it can potentially weigh us down, and we want to be light and airy so that we are able to have more freedom. So I know that freedom is one of my highest values, and doing this work and sharing in a way that is powerful, empowering, is really helpful. And so in this nuanced energy, being mindful of the society that we are currently living in, and to remind you to practice this self-care, get rest, turn things off, completely unplug, stay in nature, drink plenty of water, journal, dance, create, whatever it looks like to you to come back and to bring yourself joy is important. Even slowing down to speak, pausing, not responding immediately to someone's text or a phone call or an email is really taking back your power. It's really allowing you to say, what is it I really want, before you respond. And that's so nuanced because we're trained to respond immediately. We're trained to be the good girls and say, when someone asks you something, you respond politely or whatever. And so with all of the information and being on 24/7, it's really important for you to come back home and say that you're slowing down. Whether you say it out loud to anybody else is up to you, but to yourself, allow that to be the nuanced part in your life, to say that I'm intentionally slowing down so that I can experience more of my essence, more of my energy, because I know that I am working on my energy so that I can be the cleanest, clearest, most magnetic version of myself, because that's where the magic happens. So that's a really big, important piece of what I wanted to bring forward in this nuanced energy. Another piece that kind of goes with that last piece is I was on social media, and it was so interesting because I typically move pretty fast myself. Like, that's my natural speed. So you can see, even for me, this is slowing down, which is very intentional, which is my practice for 2026 and possibly beyond, because I realize that we don't have to be in a rush, right? That we get to, and that through being present is really where the magic is. And so what I was saying about social media, and this was the first time I had encountered it, but I don't believe it's going to be the last. Someone had created a reel, and they had sped up the reel. And I know, like, we've seen things like fast forward in the videos and things like that when you want to, the fast forward videos when you're watching something like the time lapse. But this was a conversation between two women speaking about a really important topic, and they had sped it up so that they could get their point across. It was their ad. They could get it across, and for you to feel like there was some urgency or some type of action that needed to be taken in that time frame. And I found it really unsettling for me because I'm seeing that how what we're seeing online, what we're seeing in our society is really shaping our future. We're we're really seeing how it affects our nervous system. And when we feel rushed or sped up or in that place of urgency all the time, it things don't aren't able to land. And so that's where even coming on here, I was thinking, um, because I am a kinesthetic learner, I am a hands-on, I'm a visual learner, that maybe you might be too, and that you might appreciate having the captions on here and making it as easy as possible for you to access this content that feels grounded and alive and something that you can use to ground, to feel safe, to come back home to and experience more of yourself. So, when you're thinking about nuance, this cycle, we're in this beautiful dance between, we introduced the topic in March 1st, the nuance, and then coming alive in maybe it's been alive, but coming more alive or more um, brought forth again, a little deeper, a little different, that nuanced way of bringing content, information forward, and really seeing how it lives in your life. So, I hope that's helpful. I love you. I am wishing you all the best, and I will see you again soon.